Hello students, I am Sunil Kumar, PGT Commerce, Kendriya Vidyalaya Secretariat RK Puram. Let me take you to our another episode of Business Studies Class 12. Students, in our previous episode, we have discussed about the business environment's macro forces, which were economical, political, social, technological, and legal. Now we have to concentrate on the features of business environment. When you talk of the features, it means we are looking for the characteristics of the business environment, which it is generally made of. So the very first feature comes in business environment is internal and external forces. Business environment is made of the internal forces and the external forces, and in external forces we can divide it into two parts, that the micro factors and the macro factors, which we have already studied in our previous two episodes of business environment. Now here we have to understand that these major forces are not only constituting the business environment, but it helps the business organization in understanding it and make out of it. What is the meaning of it? It means the business has to make best use of these two type of environments and will use it in getting organizational objectives. The second feature is interrelation. The micro and the macro factors are interrelated. It means the effect of one factor will affect the another one. Let me take an example to understand this feature. Our youth in our country are now getting influenced towards Western culture. It increases the demand for the fast food in the market. So that shows that once the one factor of the business environment changes, it changes the another one. The third feature of business environment is uncertainty. It means the future is full of risk and uncertainty. What is going to happen, what is not going to happen, we never know. But by scanning the environment, we can easily find out what is going to happen in the future. Though not by perfection, but certainly up to a certain extent, we can decrease the happening of a negative thing in the market. So business environment helps us in understanding what type of things, what type of changes taking place in the future. The fourth most important feature of business environment is dynamic. We know that world is ever changing and the business environment is highly flexible. So it is imperative for a business organization to understand the business environment and make changes in its policies according to the changed circumstances in the environment. The next feature of the business environment is complex. It's very easy to understand the economic environment, the internal environment and the external environment. But it is very, very difficult how this environment is going to affect the operations of our business organization and up to what level they are going to harm it or up to what level it is going to increase it. So either in the positive way or in the negative way, up to what extent they are going to affect, that we have to take care of in the complexity of this particular feature. The last but not the least is relativity. It states that the one factor of the business environment is relating to the another one. In our previous episode, students, we have discussed about an example of a cola manufacturing company. When it was in news that the cola manufacturing company is using pesticides more than the permissible limit, the people, they stopped using and buying the cola products and they inclined towards buying the juice of some other companies. So that shows that business environment is relative. If happening of a particular thing is negative, the people will change that and will go for the another one. So here now we have end up with all the features of business environment. Students, now our next topic of discussion is importance of business environment. It means why a business organization should go for environmental scanning. What business organization will achieve by scanning the business environment. Let me tell you students, it's imperative, it's must to scan the business environment. There are so many reasons through which I can tell you how it is important. Take the first importance of business environment, that is first mover advantage. A business organization which is very much in connection with the internal and external environment, And integrating the activities of internal environment with the external environment will certainly grab the opportunity which is made available by these macro and micro factors in the environment. And the companies which are having full information about the happenings of the events outside the organization, certainly they will take up first the opportunity and they will grab on it. Let me give you an example to understand the first mover advantage. Recently, the government is giving an advertisement that we have to explore northeast tourism, and the companies which are operating in tourism, now they are getting advantage of that. They are just going to get active in that particular area. They will try to develop the infrastructure which is necessary to give a push to the tourism industry in northeast area. So you can grab the opportunity only in one case, when you are having a knowledge of it. So if you are having the knowledge of business environment, you will get the benefit of getting first mover advantage. It means by the time your competitors are getting the information, by that time you have already started that project, and now you have started earning huge amount of profits because of that. The second importance of business environment is early warning signals. If you are having the information about the business environment well in advance, you will be able to know the type of threats which are imposed by the macro factors in the market. And if you are aware of it, you will start making planning well in advance to cope up with such changes. So it is necessity that the business organization must scan the environment, which will help them in getting the early warning signals and will help them to remove these hurdles, to remove these threats which are going to happen in the future. That can take place only when the business organization is having the information of the business environment. So that shows it is very much important. Students, our third importance is helpful in tapping and assembling resources. It means when a business organization is operating, it has to connect with the customers who are using the product. It has to ask them that what type of changes they would like to make in the product, and the business organization has to make changes according to it. It will help the organization in getting the tastes, preferences of the customers. It will increase the demand of the product in the market, which will tell the management, since there is an increase in demand in the market, they have to increase the production. So in this way, business environment helps the organization in tapping the resources, in helping the management is in knowing the resources, what type of things are required to increase the manufacturing process. Like in the last year, the business produced 1 lakh units, and now because of the business environment knowledge business is having, and through this the business knows that there are 200% demand in the market, so business has to produce 2 lakh units. But in order to produce 2 lakh units, the business has to get the financial resources, has to get the raw material which are required to manufacture the goods from 1 lakh units to 2 lakh units. And it is only the business environment which will help the organization in getting the extra demand and helping the organization in tapping such resources. So it is imperative again for the business organization to have full information about the business environment. Our next point of importance of business environment is it helps in adapting changes quickly. As I mentioned earlier, business environment is ever changing. It changes with every second, minute, day, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, half yearly, annually, every time it changes. And a business organization has to take care of all these things very, very carefully, and only then it will be able to adapt the changes very, very quickly. Because you are having the information of the market, you know how you have to change your operations. Let me take an example to clear that, students. In banking sector, few years back, everything was done manually, but now everything is computerized. So banking sector knows that if it has to increase its efficiency, it has to go for computerization. And now entire banking sector is using the computer, duly connected with internet, and now operating successfully, efficiently and effectively by carrying out all the business transactions very, very easily. Our next point of importance is assisting in planning and policy making. Business environment helps the organization in understanding what is going to happen in the future. So it will tell the management in advance that while going for the planning, while making the policies, the procedures and the programs, business has to take care of all the activities which are going to happen in the future. So it will help them in making and drafting better and effective planning rather than static planning, which may be done when the business organization is not having the information what is going to happen in the future. Last but the most important, again, the importance of business environment is it helps in improving the performance. The business environment helps the organization in understanding the threats very quickly, getting warning signals, helping in tapping the resources, and by doing all these activities, the organization will certainly be able to improve its performance. And last year, if they have earned a profit of say 1 lakh rupees, in this year, certainly they will be just making it to 2 lakh or the 3 lakh or the 4 lakh, whatever objectives they have drawn and whatever plans they have made to grab that profits. So it's only the business environment which will help the organization in understanding all these things and ultimately helping in getting the organizational objectives. So here we have come to an end of importance of business environment. Students, now we have come to an end of this episode. In it, we have discussed about the features and importance of business environment. It is very much clear that knowledge of business environment is imperative, is must, is the necessity of the life of the business organization. If it is not going for the same, it is going to suffer by closing down its business. I hope you have understood all these concepts and you will use it in your real life situations. Thank you.